Hi everybody, this is Mr. Dyer. I'm making my very first video for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you and your family are all well. I really miss seeing everybody in school, so hopefully this will be a fun way for us to be able to connect. I'm going to move this video out of the way and tell you a little bit about a big science idea that you've actually been learning all about without me in the same classroom as you over the last few weeks as you've been learning about ecosystems. So a big science idea you've been learning is how energy flows through ecosystems. And at the same time, how matter gets cycled through ecosystems. I'm hoping that what you're noticing right here is the same little food web diagram that you were looking at in last week's assignment. And you've learned about producers, which are plants. You've learned about consumers, which are animals. They have to eat food that is in the form of a different species. And then there's another type of organism that's not listed, that's not in this diagram here, called a decomposer. And what they do is they love to eat dead things or solid wastes from living things, and they decompose and they recycle all the matter from those objects so that it goes back into the water or in the soil, and then the plants can use those to regrow. And that ends up being a cycle. So I told you that a big idea for this video is going to be all about the transfer of energy. When you're looking at a food web of an ecosystem, you're noticing different species that are on there. And in between every species, you can see little arrows or sometimes bigger arrows. And all those arrows are representing is that when one of those species eats the other one as a food source, that's their energy source. As an example, this type of plankton is a little animal. It's called a zooplankton. They're microscopic, they live in water. Their only food source is another type of plankton called phytoplankton. Those are the plants. So again, all zooplankton eat phytoplankton, and this arrow right here is representing that is how zooplankton get their energy. They use phytoplankton as their energy source. Now for zooplankton, after they've eaten their meal, other things are going to eat them, right? Freshwater drum is a type of species. You can see the arrow pointing from zooplankton to freshwater drum. Same over to crayfish. Bass love to eat zooplankton. Walleye love to eat zooplankton. Every single one of these arrows represents one of the species eating another one as a food source. Northern pike are our top predators in this food web. Nothing else in this lake ecosystem eats northern pike. So once they die of natural causes, luckily there's decomposers that like to get their energy from the decaying matter of the northern pike bodies. All right, they're not listed on here. I'm going to show you a couple more food webs really quick. These are ones that some students of mine in the past have made. This is one of the African savanna by a student who's currently in 10th grade, I believe. Here's our sun. That's our energy source, right? The energy has to come from something, and that's always going to be the sun. And all plants, every single one of the plants in this ecosystem uses the sun's energy to do photosynthesis and make their own food. And then as an example, a giraffe might eat from this jara tree. And here's an arrow pointing from the giraffe over to the lion. All right, and that's one really simple path through here, but you can look at others also. There are other food chains in this ecosystem. A worm is an example of a decomposer, and everything that dies gets used up by decomposers, thank goodness. And those nutrients get recycled through the system so that every plant is able to use those nutrients again as they get new energy from the sun. I hope you better understand how energy flows through ecosystems and how nutrients are cycled through ecosystem. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.